is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today we will discuss about the planet Moon. Moon. When we tell Moon, we should understand that the Moon has phases. It waxes, it wanes. So there is a phase where it slowly builds up its light. That is all because of the shadow which is happening between the Moon, Earth, and the Sun. So Moon is, as the orbit of the Moon is only 5 degrees inclined, away from the uh, ecliptic, that is the orbit of the Sun and the orbit of the Moon. So these orbits are only 5 degrees in different. The angular displacement is only 5 degrees. So that means most of the times Moon comes in between or Earth comes in between when they are revolving around the Sun. So that is why Moon starts giving you a different phases. That is because when Moon is here, Earth is here, and that's the Sun light falling on Moon. We can only see one part of the Moon, only one part of the Moon, because we can't see the whole part of everything. We can't see the whole thing. So when Moon is here and Sun is there and it's a little inclined, if it is like this, it becomes an eclipse. That is exactly behind, and Earth comes in between. It becomes a lunar eclipse. So if it is a little inclined, then we see the Purnami. That is, the Sun shines fully on Moon and it becomes fully bright, and we call it as a full moon. So the other way around, it becomes a new moon because the sunlight does not fall on the Moon and gets reflected to Earth. So this is nothing but the game of shadows with the Moon when we are talking about moonlight. Okay. One thing we should understand is Moon means manah karaka. The signification of Moon, the karakatwas, Matru karaka, manah karaka, anna karaka. It is a signification, it's the one which signifies food. Anna, excuse me, sorry. Anna means not only, people think that in South India, Anna means rice. So it's not rice. Anna means the whole food, whatever we eat as food is Anna. So it is Manakaraka because it controls the mind, the thought process, and Matrukaraka because it signifies motherhood. Mother and motherhood, the caring, the emotion, the feeling. Moon means you have to go into a lot of depth into understanding feelings of a person. So Moon also has different karakatwas, which are minor karakatwas but very important when we are doing the analysis of a chart. One of the minor karakatwas which is actually important is language. Moon is the karaka or the signifier of language, and fluency of thought and fluency of speech. The flow of thought, it's not fluency of thought, it's flow of thought and fluency of speech. This connect is not there for everyone. There is a disconnect for many people. So the connect, when it happens, you will think and speak in the same speed. The speed, when it doesn't happen correctly, you will start stammering. So Moon is one of the major planets which has to be seen to understand whether a person has problems in speech, problems in thought process, problems with the thought flow, and whether he will stammer. So this is very important. The other karaka of Moon is eyesight. When we go into the Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda, Chandrama manaso jataha. Chandrama manaso jataha. So the mana is seen from Chandra. Chaksho suryo ajayata. The eyes as an organ is because of the sun, but the eyesight is because of the Moon. What you see, how you perceive is because of the Moon. What is used to see, what is the organ which is used so that you can see something, that is the eye. So as an organ, sun represents eye. All the color blindness and everything else will go to the sun as a signification. But the sight, wearing a spectacle, very simple, wearing a spectacle, having different visions, is all moon. Okay, if moon and sun both are badly placed, that means there might be difficulty in sight itself. There is one yoga called as andha yoga, or person going blind. So that is a very severe yoga. We have to see a chart in depth to understand that. But anyway, the other minor karakatwas of moon is that it is a signifier of water, pure drinking water, potable water. And it is also a signifier for creation, creativity, dreams, imagination, and thought process. So these are the major and minor significations of moon. As it is a major signification of, it signifies mana matlab, uh, mean to say, it is manas means mind. We can see the ups and downs of the same mind and which give rise to different difficulties and also good levels of understanding. A person can become a very good learner of languages. He can learn multiple languages, transact with foreign languages. This is because of the moon, the strength of moon. Becoming a translator, studying and teaching other languages. But the negative side of this is that they may lose the essence of the language. A time may come when the tongue might unnecessarily talk more and mean less. There might not be good, meaningful speech or meaningful talk. People would simply blabber. That's also because of the moon when it is negatively placed. People going through obsession, addiction, indulgence, lunacy, depression, hysteria, and maniacs. All this is a very big list of very dangerous qualities, of dangerous people. Being obsessed, passion always motivates people, but obsession kills the person from inside. So that's why when I have written a quote like passion motivates, obsession kills. That means passion is like you are proactively, progressively trying to do something in one particular area of life. But obsession very clearly tells that you are obsessed on in that area. The whole world is dark for you, and you are only focusing on one thing, like a maniac. There are who stalk people who stalk, and that's not such a great thing to do. But they are obsessed with certain people, and they keep stalking them. They want to follow them, and they are, we call them like, people who are hysterically motivated to do things which are not required. So let me come to the other minor significations which are also important, like the body fluid which gets built up inside the body. When it is negatively placed, the retention of the urine or the retention of the liquid is a one dangerous disease or difficulty, because of which the body starts to bloat, the legs starts to swell. So this is also because of kidney dysfunction, one of the major diseases which might come because of moon, if it is negatively placed, because moon represents all body fluids and body liquids. The urinary tract infection, the UTI, which has gained too much of hype because it is the one which is now prevalent in mostly in females, but it also happens in males. All urethra or the urinary tract gets infected if there is some impurity or some infection which enters into the body. So this is also to be seen from moon. Since moon represents the mind, moon, Mercury, which represents the nerves, these two planets are to be seen for afflictions to understand whether the person might go through epilepsy. You know what is epilepsy? A person going through fits. So to understand these are all will be this all these will be dealt with charts when I am going to take in-depth medical astrology, which is a chapter which will come, I think, after a year or so. I don't know, because it may take that number of classes to come to that level. But this is a hint for you people who are interested in going ahead and trying to learn some things. So this is very important for us to understand that the mental instability or difficulty of the nervous functioning in the brain might give epilepsy. So, as the waning and the waxing of the moon happens, the mindset of these people also will actually become positive and negative, and they'll be confident and fearful. You know, all these plus and minus points. They will suddenly become outwardly social and suddenly become introverts. This keeps on happening every month as it progresses. So the word month has come from moon. So the month, usually the lunar month is around 28 and a half days approximate, and the solar month is approximately 30 days. Both are approximate because the solar month is more accurate because it differs only in seconds, but the lunar month is not accurate because it leaves out around 1.5 days every time we call it a month. So that is why we go to the concept of adhika masa. I will talk this when we do the panchanga theory. So adhika masa, which actually is accumulated error which has to be rectified, and why adhika masa, why particularly that adhika masa will happen, that those things we'll discuss later. So every year it will accumulate something like 18 days approximately, and so 18 plus some part of it will add up, and then it will become, adhika masa for 1.5 years you will get. So the mindset of a person also increases and decreases. It gains confidence and diminishes and goes into depression, or sometimes you feel moody, you feel the mind is, I don't have a good mindset today, I feel dull. All these things can also be referred to moon. See that day's moon, where it is sitting in which nakshatra, and make the calculation. You will understand why that particular day you feel awkward, you don't feel good, you feel low. All these things you can understand. Okay, we will go to the other significations of moon. Moon means milk, salt, regular, that is food, hot and normal food, not the spicy one, regular food, and chemicals. So these are major karakatwas when it comes to choosing profession. So if a person is into chemistry, he can very clearly see in his chart that the moon is strongly placed, either in the 5th or the 9th or the 6th, place of service, or even the 4th. So if moon is well placed in a chart, a person can be a good painter, he plays with chemicals, colors. Moon represents all the colors. Sun represents all the colors, but moon also represents all the colors. But particularly, moon represents all the colors, and that is why jointly it is white. Chandram Shweta Varnam Shweta Malyam Bharadaram Shweta Gandhanaliptam Shweta Kshatra Dvajapataka Shobhitam Divyam Merum Pradakshini Kurvanam Sa Angam Sa Ayudam Sa Vahanam Sa Shakti Sapatni Saputra Saparivaram Sarvalankara Bhujitam Adi Devata Prate Devata Sahita Su Agniya Digbhage Dirgha Chatushra Mandale. Just a minute, please hold on. Sorry, there was a pause because suddenly somebody came here. I had to pause the video. I'll once again repeat the thing. I think we had come till Dirgha Chatushtra Mandale, and after that it is Tandula Danya Syopari. Tandula Danya in Sanskrit, Dirgha Chatushtra means rectangular. The mandala for Chandra is rectangular in shape, and Tandula means rice. Tandula Danya Syopari Agneya Digbhage, that is, I have told you, Agneya Digbhage, that is from sun, it is towards the southeast. Southeast, Agneya. So I am facing east now. This is this is Purva, Uttara, Dakshina, Paschima. Behind me is west. So this is Purva, Uttara, Dakshina, and Paschima. And this is Agneya, that is between the east and the south. So this is the place where actually moon is posited, Agneya Digbhage. Okay? Okay, this is how it's Shweta Varnam. Shweta Malyam Vardhanam. Shweta means pure white. So the mindset of a person who is born with a strong moon would be innocence, clear mind without any kalmasha. Kalmasha means impurity. There is no malina or kalmasha. The word malina is, as you know, in Hindi it is malin. Malin means impurity, some foreign impurity. So the same word in English is malign. Malign. So, when we tell that there is a tumor which is afflicted or inflicted by impurities, we call it malignant. So it's a malignant tumor. So that is malina. So this word came into English. Anyway, I'll be giving you some small things. I'm not an expert on Sanskrit language, but still I know a little bit because I have studied the Vedas. So they love food. People who have a strong moon either in the second house or the second lord is placed very strongly with moon, they love food with salt and a little extra salt. So these people love good food. They don't want to have, they are not showy with regard to their food eating habits. They want good food which fills their stomach. So that means they are good eaters, and that can also become a negative point to them if there is a negative planet placed with moon. If, for example, if Rahu is placed with moon or Ketu is placed with moon or a retro Saturn is placed with moon, these people can get into addiction. They can indulge themselves into drugs. So this has to be understood by seeing the whole chart, because there might be other cancellations like a benefic influence or a benefic aspect of another planet over that malefic aspect of moon, and the combination of moon and Ketu or moon and Rahu or moon and Saturn or something like that. These yogas have to be understood before doing our predictions. Okay, the metals which are represented by moon are silver, platinum, white metal, aluminium, etc. So these are all white in color, and these are represented by moon. So crossing seas, going for long voyages is also represented by moon. As I told, one of the major karakatwa for moon is Matru Karaka. I have now discussed about manas and food, that is anna. I am now discussing about Matru Karaka. Matru Karaka means it is mother, motherly affection, care, all that, empathy, showing empathy towards somebody. It doesn't mean that you have to be a biological mother to show empathy. A person who has a strong moon will show empathy towards even an animal. So that means a strong moon is an extraordinary and a very good quality for a person to show human, human behavior, that is showing being humane towards the social causes. So illnesses, as I have told you, there are illnesses of the eye, because it represents the eyesight, and there are illnesses of the teeth because it represents the teeth. The teeth tooth decay. There might be root canal, or the teeth itself might be, badly arranged. All this has to be seen from the moon. And urinary disorders, headaches due to sinusitis, cough, phlegmatic problems, asthmatic problems, bronchitis, etc. So the the professions for moon would be that they can be very good teachers. They can be good teachers in kindergarten, because they have the motherly attitude. And they can be pediatric surgeons, dentists. One of the best professions for a strong moon in the 10th is being a dentist, being a chemist, going into chemistry, drugs, medicines, and salt, you know, growing all that is white. Very simple. Growing all that is white into agriculture. These people are very good agriculturists. Sun is a very good agriculturist. Moon is a good agriculturist, and many other planets are there. But these two are the best. They can be into fisheries, and particularly into chemistry. Chemistry can be in many things, toiletry, it can be in perfumery, it can be into medicines, it can be into deodorants or mosquito repellents, so many things. Toiletries can range from the best soap to the normal phenyl, which is used for our the cleaning the floor. So chemicals, usage of chemicals is everywhere. Even in the kitchen you use a lot of chemicals. So these chemicals which enhance the taste also goes to moon. The hing, asafoetida, also comes under moon because it enhances the taste. You are not using asafoetida as a food replacement. It is not an alternative for food. You cannot tell that I am not going to eat rice from today, I'll eat only asafoetida. No, you can't eat only salt, you can't eat only asafoetida for the whole life. You eat that as a taste enhancer. So all taste enhancers come under moon. The tough combinations for moon is when it is placed alone. When there is no planet along with moon, it is the toughest. On either side of moon, if there are no planets, let us say moon is in one particular house, in the third house, let us say, and there are no planets in the second, third, and the fourth, and there is no aspect on moon. This actually, the aspect has not been discussed in the classics. It has been discussed in the commentaries given by recent astrologers from past 200-300 years, that even the aspect can be a little bit, it can nullify the ill effect of moon being placed alone. Because when moon is placed alone with no planets on either side, we call this Kemudrum Yoga. So Kemudrum Yoga is very dangerous, because the person going through that phase of a moon or dasha of the moon might feel, afraid, might feel apprehensive, intimidated. So this particular dasha of moon is not to be, it might not be giving confidence to the person because of the Kemudrum Yoga. I will be dealing with the Chandradi yogas like the Sunapha Yoga, Anapha Yoga, Durdura Yoga, Kemudrum Yoga, Amala Yoga. So many other yogas are there which are called as the Chandradi Yoga. Even the Gajikesari Yoga comes into that, and Chandramangala Yoga, Gajikesari Yoga, many other yogas are there. I'll come to it later on when I will do yogas. I think in the 20-30 classes, I think the yogas should be, it should be good. But anyway, the other tough combinations are when moon is with Rahu, moon is with Ketu, moon is with the retro Saturn, which actually people call these in different names. When moon goes with Rahu, we call it as a yoga of insanity. Not all people know. You suddenly check their horoscopes now and think that when moon is with Rahu, don't think that you are insane. No, All this should be cross-checked with reference of the Lagnadipati, the fifth lord, the ninth lord. These are the balancers. The first, fifth, and the ninth balance the horoscope. You know, it motivates the horoscope to be sane, rational. So, just by a combination of Moon and Rahu, please don't jump into the conclusion that, yeah, I'm insane. No, you're not insane. There might be phases or time periods when the Moon Rahu Moon combinations keep happening in the Dasha Bhaktis, or when the transit happens, that you might get confused to such an extent that you will become indecisive, impulsive, and reactive rather than think and do. So it's like we lose our mental balance. People lose mental balance quite often, and all these people are not to be, termed as mad or insane or irrational. So they have lost their balance temporarily, not permanently. So these combinations of Moon Rahu, Moon Ketu, Moon retro Saturn, Moon retro Mercury, Moon and retro Mercury is like, they are a particular point of um, this combination might tend the person towards obsessive compulsive disorder, thinking about the same thing too many times, always worried about one particular thing. It's like whether my daughter will get married or not. Until the marriage happens, the mother who has this combination will be totally like sleepless, will not eat her food properly, her health will go down. It's all because of the mind. So this OCD cannot be directly put everywhere. But anyway, this particular combination of Moon and retro Mercury, which is weakly placed, might give this particular problem. There is also a problem of polarity. The bipolar problem, which is nowadays too much because of um, bad timing of work, and also because of many other bad habits of routine. So the polarity problem is there nowadays, and in children we see ADHD problems coming up very quite often, autism and ADHD. This also can be related by the bad moon's placement. So I think I have covered a major part of the planet Moon, and I think this is enough for the today's class. I will cover the planet Mars in the next coming class. Thank you.